Hi, welcome to episode 120 of A Couple of Things. Today I'm going to be reading an essay I wrote in 2017 about how my Christianity helped me to embrace my feminism, and we'll see what I think about it now and how it holds up. If I walked into a room full of strangers and I was required to talk about myself, my introduction would not be complete without stating that I am a Christian and a feminist, amongst other things. I have not always identified as either of these things though. For some time, I rejected both labels of feminist and Christian. I looked around me and realized that the words and actions of Christians and feminists that I saw, heard of, and read about did not align with my understanding of either ideology. So I would say things like, I believe that Jesus died for me, but I'm not a Christian. And I believe that women and men should have the same rights, but I'm not a feminist. My understanding of Christianity came long before my understanding of feminism. Although I was raised in a Muslim family, I went to Christian primary and secondary schools where I was exposed to self proclaiming Christians almost every day. The behavior and attitudes of these people, especially the adults, did not add up with what I understood Christianity to be about. People would preach one thing and do another. Actions were not connecting with words from the Bible. In my opinion, and from my personal experience with my faith, Jesus' ultimate message was love. Love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. Some might argue that this is a simplistic summary of the message of Jesus, but that's not what this is about. People that I saw were judgmental, hateful, self righteous, and so I started to separate myself from the label of Christian. Ironically, this could be read as me being self righteous. Sometime towards the end of secondary school, I stumbled upon the word feminism. My brother was taking SAT classes and I was reading through his notes, a habit that I've had for as long as I can remember, and I stumbled upon the word. I've always been an outspoken person and I have never subscribed to the idea that certain things are for girls only and certain things are for boys only. So when I found this word that described my belief, I proclaimed myself a feminist. Enter Twitter. Feminism was becoming a thing on Twitter. My identity as a feminist began to unravel. I began to have the same problem that I had with the identity and label of Christian. Feminism was getting a bad rap on Twitter. Some feminists had lost the plot. You proclaim yourself a feminist and you'll be avoided like a plague. Feminists were angry, bitter, frustrated, ugly, man-hating lesbians, and 17-year-old me did not want to be identified as any of these. I just wanted women to have equal rights with men. I also wanted people to like me. In addition to this internal battle for likes versus saying what I believed, there were the feminists with what I thought to be stupid and unnecessary demands. I was so bothered that I went on a rant asking, am I a feminist? One's identity is an interesting thing because it determines how you interact with people and how people perceive you and interact with you. Identities are loaded with stereotypes, true and untrue, good and bad. Our identities saddle us and others with expectations. Our gender, religious, political, and other ideological identities often define us and influence how we engage with the world more than we like to admit. Most people will take disagreement with an ideology they believe in as a personal attack because they have internalized their beliefs. I embraced my label of Christian before I embraced my label of feminist. After a long crisis of faith, a result of guilt, depression, and failed hopes and dreams, it occurred to me that in every sense of the word, I am a Christian. And even though some people misuse and misinterpret the teachings of the faith, and some people use it to manipulate other people, my belief is my belief, and I know the truth of what I believe in. This realization allowed me to start calling myself a Christian again. Sometime later, while arguing feminism with some friends, I came to the realization that I could apply the above logic to my relationship with feminism and identifying as a feminist. What is the root of the ideology of feminism? It is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and access. Basically, it advocates for the social, political, and all other rights for women on the same level as those of men. Did I believe in this? Yes, I did, and I still do. The point is that even though an ideology, feminism, has been misinterpreted and misunderstood, and they're extremists, as with any other ideology, and misandrists, and Twitter arguments reducing feminism to who cooks, changing surnames, and whether the worth of a woman lies in if she washes clothes using a washing machine or her hands. I know the truth of feminism and I know why it's necessary, so why should I reject the label? I have come to understand that no ideology is perfect, and as long as we are human, we will interpret anything to suit ourselves. Ideologies are just that, ideas that are subject to interpretation. So what do I think now? I think largely the same thing. I think what is interesting for me is me realizing and understanding that the reason why I was rejecting certain labels was because I wanted to be liked. And now I don't care about being liked, which is so funny. I guess as you grow older, haha, I'm growing older, but as you get older, you tend to like not care anymore about whether people like you or what people think about you, or at least that's what I think. And I care about what the people that I care about think about me. I don't care about what other people outside of the people who I care about think about me, basically. Which is actually something that I want to explore on another episode of the podcast, whether we should care about what other people think about us and whose opinion we should care about and when. But that's another topic. But yeah, I do believe that there's a lot of extremism in like almost any ideology you can think about. And it shouldn't matter when you understand the core of the belief, and not to throw out the baby with the bathwater, as they would say. So yeah, I think that's it with on this Christianity and feminism thing. And people always talk about how Christianity and feminism cannot coexist, blah blah blah. Which, well, I guess again everyone is entitled to their opinion, because if I look again at what feminism about is about justice, equity, equality, whatever, and that seems very on track with the Christian faith. When I look to the Bible, I see a God who cares about justice. I see a God who cares about all his children being treated rightly, correctly. I see a God who cares about there not being oppression and for people to be taken care of. So I don't see how those two things are incompatible. People can talk about like, oh, Paul said this and women did that, but when I look at the whole picture of the Bible and the whole picture of who God is, I don't see any inconsistencies between my belief, my faith, being a Christian, and what feminism is about. And some people will say that this is cognitive dissonance, but that's okay. Everybody has cognitive dissonance about something. But I don't think this is cognitive dissonance, because I have examined this carefully, and my conclusion is that there is no inconsistency in both, in me believing in both things and proclaiming both things, basically. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you found anything insightful, interesting, or you enjoyed this episode, please do share. And remember to like, if you can, wherever you listen to your podcasts, leave a comment, subscribe, so you get the future episodes. Thanks. Before you go, this is a reminder that you can ask me to talk about a specific topic or answer a question that you have by filling the form in the show notes to submit your suggestion or question. Bye.